Hello Vorthos and Commander players, I'm Prospo and I welcome you to EDH Scout. Today we'll see some flavorful game-winning combos that we will include in our Wilhelt the Rotcleaver Zombies Tribal deck, or any other zombie tribal deck in Dimir Colours. For the most of them, we will need one of the 7 flavorful free sacrifice outlets. You can find the video describing these cards in the description below. Let's start with the combos. For the first combo, we will use the interaction of Wilhelt the Rotcleaver with Poppet Factory. For the combo to work, we need Poppet Stitcher transformed to Poppet Factory, Wilhelt, one of our free sacrifice outlets, and another random zombie on the battlefield. Each time we sacrifice a zombie to one of our sacrifice outlets, Wilhelt creates a new one. That zombie loses the decayed ability from Poppet Factory and can be sacrificed again. This infinite loop creates a massive carrion feeder or Nantuko husk, and also can win the game on the spot if we add Plague Belcher, Diregraft Captain or Vengeful Dead in the mix. For the next combo, we need Sampling Gust, Liliana, Untouched by Death, Plague Belcher, and one of our free sacrifice outlets on the battlefield. First, we start by activating Liliana's third loyalty ability, so we can play zombies from our graveyard. Then, we sacrifice Sampling Gust to the sacrifice outlet, creating a treasure token. This will trigger Plague Belcher, and each opponent will lose 1 life. Now you can use the mana from the treasure and cast Sampling Gust again from your graveyard, and repeat the process until you win the game. The same can be achieved with Diregraft Captain and Vengeful Dead. For the next combo, we will use Liliana's Untouched by Death last ability again. This time, we will use Ashnod's Altar as the sacrifice outlet and Razorla's Transmogrant as the zombie to sacrifice. We sacrifice Razorla's Transmogrant to Ashnod's Altar to generate 2 colorless mana. Then we activate Liliana Untouched by Death last ability to be able to use that 2 colorless mana to play Razorla's Transmogrant from our graveyard. Now we create an infinite loop that we can win the game with Diregraft Captain or similar effects, or create an infinite zombie army with Wilhelt. For the next combo, we need Mikaeus the Unhallowed, Plague Belcher, and Carrion Feeder or another free sacrifice outlet on the battlefield. We start by sacrificing Plague Belcher to Carrion Feeder's ability. As Plague Belcher dies, it triggers the undying ability of Mikaeus, returning it to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. When Plague Belcher enters the battlefield, we have to add 2 -1/-1 counters on it, and because there is already a +1/+1 counter on it, these will cancel each other, leaving the Plague Belcher with only one -1/-1 counter on him. Then we add the +1/+1 counter on the Carrion Feeder from his ability. Now we can repeat this process infinite times, putting infinite +1/+1 counters on Carrion Feeder and swing for lethal damage. If we have Tormod the Desecrator on the battlefield, we can create infinite tapped zombie tokens, or with Archul of Thraben we can draw our entire library. With Diregraft Captain or Vengeful Dead we win the game on the spot, as our opponents will lose infinite life. With Ashnod's Altar as the sacrifice outlet, we generate infinite colorless mana as well. Similar combo using Mikaeus the Unhallowed and a free sacrifice outlet is one with Putrid Goblin. In this combo, we sacrifice Putrid Goblin to the free sacrifice outlet, which will return to the battlefield with alternate the Persist and the Undying abilities, create an infinite loop of ETB and leave the battlefield triggers, and winning the game as before. For the next combo, we will need Necro duality and a free sacrifice outlet on the battlefield. We also need Rotcleaver in our hand and the mana to play him. When Rotcleaver enters the battlefield, his ETB ability does nothing, but he triggers Necro duality as well, which tries to create a token copy of Rotcleaver. Maintaining priority, and before this trigger resolves, we sacrifice the original Rotcleaver, which will go in the graveyard. Now we allow the Necro duality's trigger to resolve, creating a token copy of Rotcleaver. Now, the ETB trigger of the copy triggers, which will return the original Rotcleaver on the battlefield. We repeat the process again, creating an infinite loop of ETB and leave the battlefield triggers and infinite copies of Rotcleaver. For the next combo, we need Nim Deathmantle, Grave Titan, and Ashnod's Altar on the battlefield, as well as 2 generic mana available. We start the combo by sacrificing Grave Titan to Ashnod's Altar, creating 2 colorless mana. This will trigger Nim Deathmantle's second ability. We pay the 4 generic mana, and we return Grave Titan on the battlefield with Nim Deathmantle attached to him. When Grave Titan comes into play, we create 2 zombie tokens. We sacrifice one of the tokens to Ashnod's Altar, creating 2 colorless mana and starting all over again the loop, which give us infinite zombie tokens, infinite mana and infinite ETB and leave the battlefield triggers. For the last combo that we will discuss today, we need Fate Stitcher without summoning sickness on the battlefield and freed from the real attached to him. We will need Dimir Aqueduct on the battlefield as well. We tap Dimir Aqueduct for 2 mana. Then we activate Fate Stitcher to untap Dimir Aqueduct. With 1 blue mana, we activate Freed from the Real to untap Fate Stitcher. Then we start this loop again, creating infinite black mana. This mana can be used to win the game with Desiccated Naga, for example, if we control one of our Lilianas. These were 8 flavorful game-winning combos for our Dimir Zombies Tribal EDH deck. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe. See you soon with more tribal flavorful videos.